And welcome back for this segment here. We have Ms. Sheila CUFFEE in, and we're going to be talking about her run for the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners District 1. And welcome to our studios.
Good morning.
Well, other than being a little cold out there, what's been going on?
Well, we're gearing up right now for the campaign. Still in the early stages of things, and you know, I've been a person in the background for many years. I've been a spiritual advisor to several who are past and current elected officials. But to get out front, you know, for the Lord to say, hey, it's time for you to come out of the shadows, this is a whole different stretch for me.
Excellent. Well, look, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, being here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County and your background.
So I am born and raised here.
Okay.
I graduated from Reed Ross when it was a high school. I attended Shaw University. I have also, I married into the military. My husband was a command sergeant major at retirement. We traveled around, been back and forth here. I worked at Womack Army Medical Center. I've been an EEO counselor. And since retirement, I have been appointed by Governor Cooper as this district's North Carolina Human Relations Commissioner. I've also have a past history of being the local chair for the Cumberland County, Fayetteville Cumberland County Human Relations Commission. I'm currently the chair of Cumberland County CommuniCare, which is a mental health agency. So I'm on a lot of boards and commissions, so I have spent a lot of time, especially these past, I'll say 12, 14 years, in community service.
So I guess what was the spark, do you believe, that led you to want to go further in public service as an elected official?
I care about Cumberland County. I care about the people. Being here, listening to some of the conversations of the community, listening to, watching the city council meetings, watching county commissioner meetings, sitting in and all of those things, I decided that now is the time to move forward and to participate. I've had a lot of ideas about solutions to things such as homelessness. It is cold out there right now.
It is.
It is very cold, and to not have anywhere for our community to go is an issue. And so that was one of the deciding factors. Affordable housing, economic development. There are a lot of things that we missed the mark with. I don't think we engage Fort Bragg in the military the way that we could. I remember when my husband transitioned out, and he tried several times to be employed with either the city or the county, and just being a command sergeant major with several degrees, and there's not an open, not an industry that really embraces that, is an issue.
So are there particular community things that you want to deal with as a board of commissioner? They're over health and human services.
Exactly.
Their role is different from what the city would be doing.
Oh, most definitely.
And of course, they have a strong connection with the schools. With all of that in play, what comes to mind that you think that you would like to impact as a District 1 representative?
Well, health and human services is very important to me. The quality of life that our residents have with health, with mental illness, with mental disorders, safety, which comes along with that. So you can't just section it off and box each one. It all works together. So when we're talking about health and human services, we need to look at employment, economic development, wages that are livable, where people can attain affordable housing, or housing that they can at least pay the mortgage or pay the rent for, that they're not having to work 3 jobs while their children are home left alone. So those are some of the issues we need to look at: economic development. We also need to look at services for those who have mental disorders. That is why some of the people who are homeless are out there and unable to get the what is needed. We have children right now, youth, who are in our detention centers, who are being assessed by agencies who need assistance, whose families need assistance in being able to manage those children, those young people that are out here committing crimes. And so we need to help the family to be able to be whole, to give them guidance, to have services that are there for them. Our DSS does a wonderful job, as far as I know, trying to connect those dots. But as commissioners, we need to make sure we have good oversight and help wherever we can, making policies that will be able to strengthen those families and to be able to provide good economic development, bringing in industries, as I said earlier, that can pay those livable wages.
Now, unfortunately, people are getting a negative image of elected officials these days, and that's not a partisan thing. That's across the board. Have you thought about that? What would you do to try and help there be a shift in how people view leadership in elected officials locally?
Personally, I've been able to be that catalyst, that person who is able to collaborate. So collaboration for me is a big thing. The 911 Center, we'll take that for an example. As far back as when Bill Crisp, they've been talking about having this connected joint 911 center. It didn't happen back then, and he was with the city council. And so that was years ago. And today we're still having the same conversation. I did attend the last meeting that they had, and it's all about who's in control. The county wants to make sure they're in control. The city wants to make sure. Let's compromise. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this thing out so that the people in Cumberland County are safe. And so I think collaboration, being that voice, being that face for collaboration, providing real solutions in real time, not kicking the can down the road to the next election, but let's do it now. Let's fix things. Let's work together. And that's what it takes here in Cumberland County. It's going to take the city and the county. It's going to take all of our organizations, our nonprofits working together. How do we do that? Let's bring stakeholders to the table and let's have some real conversations on how to move forward. And so that's the difference for me. It's not about pride, it's not about ego for me, it's about helping and serving the people. I'm not in this to be served. I'm not in here to tout that I'm Commissioner so-and-so. That's not what it's about. It's about helping that little person who is in the senior living complex who is having an issue. I've been that person in the past, and I'll continue to be that person who will go toe-to-toe with whoever the landlord is to make sure that these things are taken care of, that our people are taken care of.
Sure. Of course, for those tuning in, we have, as our guest this morning, Ms. Shelia CUFFEE, and she is a candidate for Cumberland County Board of Commissioners District 1, which I believe, I'm pretty sure there's going to be one vacancy there with an incumbent not running, and that is, but still, District 1 is going to encompass a lot of the metro areas, or I should say the city areas inside of Fayetteville. But all of Cumberland County, District 2, which you're not running that district, but still you're on one board. Mm-hmm. We talk about Godwin, Stedman, Eastover, Hope Mills, Spring Lake, all these places outside of the incorporated areas of Fayetteville. Let's talk about those.
Well, first of all, Spring Lake is in District 1.
Okay, that's right. Spring Lake is District 1.
Yes.
But still, the other ones, they're not. But what about those areas? And then look, let me make this statement here. Even though Spring Lake is District 1, I've heard criticism from people that live in Spring Lake that they're not visited by the Board of Commissioners the way that they want to be by previous District 1 people.
Correct.
No fault on you or anybody else, but that's what they say. I don't know.
I've heard the same thing.
Okay, so now, but what about that? I mean, because we focus a lot on Fayetteville, but Cumberland County is bigger than just Fayetteville.
It is, and you can't be everywhere.
Right.
However, you can make a concerted effort to at least attend occasionally, or at least check in with the other commissioners in these, or aldermen in some cases, to check in with them, to let them know, hey, I'm here. What can I help you with? Again, where's that word? Collaboration and communication. Those two are very important. And as far as the other more rural areas, I understand some of their needs by watching the meetings that the commissioners have had. A lot of them are concerned about encroachment. When I say the encroachment, I mean now someone from Florida decides they want to build a housing development and they want to change the zoning to, whatever residential or multi-family. So I understand that. And I understand that they want to hold on to their peace. They want to have that, as they say, quiet peace, knowing that they're going to have their agriculture area. It's not going to just blow up and boom and without being heard and understanding. And I have a big issue with all of these companies coming in, these agencies that are private company investment firms who are coming in from Vegas, who are coming in from Florida, who are building here and raising our rent. So that our people, because they have such high rent where they are, their cost of living is higher, now they're forcing our cost of living here in Fayetteville, Cumberland County to be higher, because they're coming in and saying, ooh, there's a house for $37,000. Let me buy it, flip it, and sell it for another $137,000. So those are some of the things I think we can look at. Who is encroaching on us and on our people?
There is incredible partisanship now in America, period. And that virus has even infected our community. What about that? I mean, people want people that are going to be able to collaborate and work across partisan lines. Now, the City Hall, the Fayetteville City Council, is nonpartisan.
It's nonpartisan, yes.
However, matter of fact, all of our city or town governments are nonpartisan. But the first partisan group is
the county,
the Board of Commissioners. But even still, in the midst of that, people need to learn how to work together. Now, you have experience as a human relations person. What about that? I mean, what can we do to bring us closer together and not further apart?
Respect. That's what it boils down to, respect. And for me, I have never been a real big partisan person. Yes, I'm a Democrat. Been a Democrat since I registered when I was 18 years old. My family, they're Democrats. However, I have worked with many Republicans on the job, right here in the county, in the city. I've worked with them all. So I think the biggest thing is understanding the needs of our people, putting our people first, and not necessarily our own agenda. And we come in with agendas. But for me, it's all about the people and serving the people.
Excellent. Well, look, we have about 5 minutes left, and so now I'm giving you an opportunity to make your pitch to our listeners as to why that is a multi-member district. It's going to be 2 commissioners to come out of District 1. But explain to our listeners and our viewers, because you're on Facebook Live as well, why do they need to vote for you, and why would you be the best choice for a commissioner in District 1?
Well, Troy, I would first say that I'm a God-loving and God-fearing person. I love my community just as God loves all of his children, whether they're Democrats, whether they're Republicans, whether they're unaffiliated. We're all his creation. And I'm here to serve them, everyone. I am not just a District 1 commissioner, but I'll be the commissioner for the entire county. That means whether you are playing the boombox or hip-hop, or whether you like country music. It doesn't matter to me. I like all music, matter of fact. I love the arts. I love making sure that our community is taken care of. I want to see us healthy, physically, mentally, and financially. I'm here to ensure that our people are heard and that we come up with good solutions, not 5 years down the road, but what can we do now to take care of our children, to take care of our senior citizens, to take care of the working parents, to take care of those who are on SNAP, to make sure that they have a viable income. It's about love. And that's what makes me the better candidate, because I love people. And I want to make sure that we are able to collaborate with one another, to communicate, keep the lines of communication open. That's how I am. I will be transparent. I'm not going to be in some side room making deals. I want to be up front, and I want to hear what you have to say. And so if you elect Sheila CUFFEE for your county commissioner, District 1, I assure you that we are going to collaborate, that we're going to have innovative ideas and stop staying within the box, doing the same old tired thing. But let's move forward. Let's move Cumberland County forward. And I would love to build on what Dr. Council has already built. I stand on her shoulders. As a matter of fact, as a little girl, I used to look for her on the black and white TV when she was with the Democratic convention trying to find that big afro. So I love Dr. Council. I stand on her shoulders, and I want to take Cumberland County further. Thank you, Troy.
Sure. So what's your contact information?
You can reach me at SCUFFEE, that's SCUFFEE, 4CCC@gmail.com, or you can reach my public relations at media, MEDIA, SCUFFEE4CC@gmail.com. And you could also find me on Facebook and Instagram, the official Sheila CUFFEE pages. The Citizens for Sheila CUFFEE is my campaign tag, and you can find me with that.
Well, look, thank you so much. Glad to have you. You'll be back, I'm sure. But anyway, we appreciate you launching your media intro with us, and wish you luck in all that you do, and continue to do your great community service. That's going to be a wrap for Ms. Sheila CUFFEE. Stick around. We're going to come back, and we're going to be talking to a candidate for the North Carolina House, District 44. We'll be right back following this.
North Carolina State Auditor Dave Bolick says the state needs to do a better job of accounting for dollars spent. Bolick has previously criticized the state's handling of recovery efforts from Hurricanes Florence, Matthew, and Helene, calling it a disaster. An investigation is underway in California after actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found dead in their home. Congressman Chuck Edwards of North Carolina has introduced a bill entitled the Equal Representation Act. The bill is moving toward a full House vote, and it could change the way the census counts the population when deciding congressional districts only counting U.S. citizens. A warming shelter in Wilmington filled up overnight with those looking for a warm place to sleep. That was true all over the state of North Carolina. Holiday shoppers say rising costs leave them feeling pinched with little room to adjust. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Peter Killeen, WIDU Radio News. One man dead, another injured after an early morning shooting in Fayetteville Sunday. According to Fayetteville police, officers went to a shooting around 4:30 a.m. at a gas station on Cliffdale Road. When officers got there, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the chest. He was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. His identity will be withheld until his kin is notified. Police were then notified of a man arriving to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. Police determined this man was related to the shooting. The isolated incident remains an active investigation. North Carolina Supreme Court will not take a case involving a challenge to North Carolina's restrictions on Sunday hunting. The court's decision announced will allow existing restrictions to remain in place. The plaintiff, Tim Oates, had asked the state's high court to overturn a unanimous April decision from the State Court of Appeals. Appellate judges agreeing that the laws governing Sunday hunting comply with the North Carolina Constitution. From WIDU Radio, I'm Peter Killeen.
Monday morning starting out with some bitter cold out there. For some of us, it's the coldest air we've felt all year long. This cold weather advisory from the National Weather Service lasting until about 9 o'clock in the morning. Heading into the afternoon, it's mostly sunny, breezy, highs upper 30s and lower 40s. Overnight, we're calmer, but it is still plenty cold. Most of us in the 20s first thing, with highs upper 40s and lower 50s Tuesday afternoon. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center.
If you have been injured in a motor vehicle collision, you should understand that the insurance company is not on your side. It is the adjuster's job to get by with paying you as little as possible. Call personal injury trial lawyer Brent Adams now for a free no-obligation consultation. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
This is Bishop Johnny Ray Jr. of the Churches of Worship Worldwide, Apostle J.A. McDonough, 2118 Owen Drive. And we are proud to be a part of the Wake Up. Come and join the team.
And we're back now again for the second part of this hour here, and we have another candidate for office. She's Fowl. I'm familiar with her. We've been knowing each other for a minute. But anyway,
We have.
this is Jackie Whitemeyer, and she is going to be a candidate for District 44 with the State House. Good morning.
Good morning.
A little cold out there.
A little nippy. We should have snow with this kind of cold.
You know what? Some people did have snow.
Yes.
I saw some little, I think they had some sprinkles in like Pembroke and Charleston, South Carolina, some places like that. But anyway, it's a little cold for December, normally speaking. But anyway, glad to have you in our studios on today.
Thank you.
To share a little bit with you about your candidacy for State House 44.
All right, I'm running for NC House 44. There are about 55,000 voters in this area. It's kind of a mix all the way from Fort Bragg all the way down to Eastern Boulevard, and it takes in a lot of downtown Fayetteville. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I grew up with, that I worked with, so I'm hoping I will get their votes. You said you were surprised that I was running. I was a little bit surprised too, because I'm normally the person that works behind the scenes to get other people elected. I've been doing that for many, many years.
Yes.
But I had a couple of phone calls, and it was like an offer I couldn't refuse.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'll think about it. And mostly I prayed about it to make sure it was the right decision at the right time. And God didn't say no. So I decided that it was the right time and that I wanted to do it, at least give it a shot.
Okay. Well, look, that's how I know you, because I know you be in the trenches working for others, and that's how we met. And I know you to be a very committed person with regard to trying to get things done in our community. What about that? So now, okay, you made a decision to run. What about District 44 and the opportunity to serve in the state legislature? What about all of that? What are you looking at? Do you believe that is of great importance?
You know, it's not just District 44, it's all of Cumberland County. And if I were elected to 44, I would certainly help out with other areas. We'd all work together, I would hope. But I am so tired of looking at people, especially on social media, talking about all of the problems that we have in this area, but no one is offering solutions. And I think it's time to sit down and offer some solutions and resolve some of the problems that we have in this community. And I mean, we've got a high crime rate. We have a lot of mental illness. We have a lot of children, school-age children, that are running wild with no supervision. And we have a homeless problem. And this is the largest military installation at our back door. They call it the center of the universe. I would love to see Fayetteville and Cumberland County be the center of the universe of North Carolina. And we could be if we were to pool all of our resources and just work together.
So legislatively, how do you think differences can be made from Raleigh?
Well, I think the first part of that is sitting down with constituents and finding out what they truly see as problems. Because what you and I see as a problem, Raleigh may not see that. They see it as something to be brushed under the rug and, swept under the rug, whatever the phrase is. And it could be something very easy to fix. But if we don't know what people are wanting and what they think we should be doing, how can we present it to Raleigh and get a bill going, to make sure that something's being taken care of?
So, the budget now is ballooned to a little bit over $30 billion.
Yes.
I think that the one they're working on now to get it passed would be $33 billion.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
Over half that does go to education, that's K through college. But there are a lot of things that can happen positive for communities. We have been the recipients, Cumberland County, lately of some pretty good things.
Yes.
With our budget. What are your thoughts about keeping that type of relationship with Raleigh going so that Fayetteville can grow? I'm really excited about 295 now running all the way out to 95 South. Starts right there outside of Eastover, and now is right there past St. Paul's. So we got that. That's done.
Yes.
But there's some other things in our community too. Is there anything that pops up in your mind that you believe that we ought to be working on that would require support from Raleigh?
Well, like you said, the education, that is one of the high priorities that anybody in government should have, because our children are our future, and we need to take care of them first. So, and we need to mold them into good citizens. And we have underperforming schools. And I was a little bit surprised to read the other day about all of the schools that they're talking about either combining or closing.
I thought about that.
You know, some of them are underutilized, like Massey Hill and Reed Ross. Well, they're not your average school. So I think there's higher criteria to attend one of those schools than there is your average high school. And there's a lot of buildings that are outdated, and they should be taken care of. And then, you know, there's the issue with E.E. Smith. That's a historic high school, and I think that needs to be preserved. Was trying to put it on Fort Bragg the right answer? No, I don't think so. But I think something can be done about that, and we need to have that school in that community, in this community. I mean, we're sitting almost at its back door, and there's a lot of schools that are just in bad shape, and something really does need to be done about them. I have a friend that's a high school teacher in another county, and every time she goes to school, she gets really, really sick. She starts coughing, and she just can't shake it. And we found out that she's sitting under a vent that has mold growing in it.
Oh, wow.
So every time she's on leave or it's summer, she's fine. But when she comes back to school, all that mold is blowing right on her. And if it's affecting her that way, think about all the children in school. What is it doing to them as well? So I think we need to look at what is actually going on in our schools. And I mean, I could talk about schools forever. I mean, I'm a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. And I worry about our children when they go to school. I worry about their safety. But most of all, I worry about the fact that there's no accountability anymore. You know, teachers try to deal with students and they're being attacked. And I mean, who teaches their child that it's okay to put their hands on a teacher or another student? I mean, look what just happened in Forsyth County. That was a tragedy. That should never have happened. That should not happen in any school. And I think we need to look at all of the possibilities that we have. We have retired military that could help in our schools as well. I mean, if they're armed, that's fine. If they're not, well, no one needs to know if they're armed or not, but, you know, we could utilize retired military. And retired military is another thing that I'm passionate about, because my husband was in the Army. He was in the Army for 23 years. He was a Vietnam Ranger. He was very proud of that. He had 30 months of combat in Vietnam. And I retired from Fort Bragg, civil service. I worked 28 years in civil service. In the last 20 years that I worked at the U.S. Army John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School as a training instructor. And I taught professional development and leadership courses, and I was also the program manager for the Army Special Operations Forces Pre-Command Course, which prepares new commanders, senior NCOs, and senior warrants to take command after their first 90 days. So I love the military. If Fayetteville did not have the Fort Bragg, I think we would cease to exist. We would not have everything that we do. We would not have the commerce, the economy that we have. We certainly wouldn't be able to have all these restaurants and stores, and we wouldn't have the schools that we have without Fort Bragg. And I think we need to find a way to use Fort Bragg and meld the two together and work hand in hand. I know we already do on a lot of things, but I think we need to have a closer relationship with them.
So I don't know that you do know, but Cumberland County is a Tier 1 community, meaning that...
Now, I actually looked that up yesterday, and it said we're a Tier 2.
We're 1. Really?
Well, I Googled it yesterday. It said 2.
Well, we're still 1.
So,
I mean, you can check.
I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
It would be nicer to be a 2 than a 1.
That's right, right.
It would be nice to be a 3.
Yeah.
And we could be.
Right.
And one of the things that I'm passionate about, too, is years ago, I had talked to, I believe, Governor McCrory, when he was in office, talked about getting rid of the state income tax. If we were to do that, we would attract so many retirees from not just Fort Bragg, but from Camp Lejeune as well.
Right.
And the talent that some of these retirees have and what they could bring to North Carolina is unbelievable. But it's like we want every single penny, drain it out of everybody, and, you know, just keep bringing in the money. And we could bring in so much more than just revenue.
Well, you know, our population is growing as a state. When I moved here in 1977, we were just a little under 5 million people, and now we're about 11 million. I mean, North Carolina is one of the fastest growing states in the nation.
Yes.
I think we're like number 9 now in population. What about that? You know, yeah, we do have some negatives, but there are some things that are drawing people here to the state, not necessarily to our community, because they're not coming to our community the way they are going to other parts of the state.
Right.
Have you thought about that? I mean, what do we need to be doing to attract people at the rate that they're going to other places? What do we need to be doing to attract them to come here the way they are going to other places?
Well, we do have a great community in North Carolina. We have the mountains, we have the beaches, and everything in between.
Right.
We have historic sites. We have a very large banking community in the Charlotte area. We have a very tech-savvy area in the Triangle. And there's some high-tech jobs that are being brought in, have been over the past 20 years. But I think people need to be reassured that the tax rate is lower. They need to know that we have good schools for their children to come to, and that it's a safe environment for not only them, but their children.
Yeah, and because, you know, I go back to the school thing, you know, they're talking about Beaver Dam. If you're familiar with that community, that's about 30 miles out. They need a new school, for real. But to try and bust them, kids would be leaving home very early in the morning, and they'd be getting home after dark because they have a school situation out there, too, you know, a building situation.
Right. I was surprised at that one because Beaver Dam is there all by itself, and there's 3 schools in that community, but they're going to combine 3 schools into Stedman. And that is a good distance for children to be traveling.
Yeah, it's close to 30 miles.
And I don't think that sits well with students because they shouldn't be spending a good portion of their day on a bus They should be at home, they should be studying, they should be playing, they should be socializing, whatever, spending family time, doing their homework, not spent on a bus.
Right. So, well, we have the money from Raleigh, but we also have local funds too as well. Mm-hmm. And then we need to have a relationship with the school board, Board of Commissioners, with all of these townships and the city of Fayetteville,
yes,
with state legislators. Sometimes that's not the way we want it to be. What would you bring to the table to make that a more smoother process?
Well, one thing I have noticed is there's a lack of communication. And a lot of times there's no transparency. It's just like a lot of events you find out after they've come and gone. And there are things that people would like to be involved in if they knew about them. And I think we need to be more open about that. We need to advertise everything that's going on. And if you're a county commissioner, you should know what's going on at City Hall. You should know what's going on in Spring Lake or Hope Mills or Eastover or Falcon, wherever. Not just your little community. And the people of Cumberland County need to be informed. And a lot of them are saying, well, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know we had this. I didn't know we had that. We need to be more communicative. We need to put information out there. I mean, not everybody has social media, believe it or not. I'm finding that out more and more every day. People that I would think would be on Facebook, oh, no, I don't have a Facebook account. I'm like, why? They're like, because I don't want to get into that. But that's where I find it. I don't get my news off of Facebook, but I do find out about a lot of events that have occurred already after the fact on Facebook.
Right. Well, social media is a way of people communicating and staying in touch. Particularly, they have what's the thing, the neighborhood thing they have? I forget the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? Where they next door neighbor.
Next door neighbor, yes.
Yeah, next door neighbor. Not that it's true. However, I think does give us a glimpse of what people are thinking and how they are. You know what I mean? And even should you go to Raleigh, the relationship with the executive branch, which now is occupied by, you're running as a Republican, it's occupied by a Democrat. Based on what you know and what you've been exposed to, how do you feel about that?
Well, I know a lot of people in Raleigh that I have helped get elected. And I can talk to anybody. I don't care what your party affiliation is, what your color is, what your race is. We're all human beings. And in the long run, we all want the same thing. And we want our children to be taken care of. We want a safe and peaceful environment. We all want to succeed. We want to do well. We want to be free to worship in the church of our choice and not have people attacking us. Just like recently, the first day of Hanukkah in Australia.
Yeah,
there was that shooting, which is outrageous. And I don't know how to stop that. I don't know how to stop the hate. But Ms. CUFFEE said we need to have respect, and she's absolutely spot on. We need to start respecting one another and not attacking each other. And as we were talking about earlier, Republicans are attacking Republicans. I've never seen anything like it. And we have to remember Reagan's 11th commandment, not to attack one another. And I don't know what's happened to people. It's like all of a sudden everybody's just gone crazy.
Yeah, it is quite interesting, no doubt about that. And I guess that is the political environment that we have now. And in order to change that, we need to have a different mindset of individuals that are elected.
Yes.
what mindset do we need in order to flip that? Because obviously what we have is that it's not working, at least for people to come together.
Right.
But what mindset do we need to have in order to change that?
Well, I think we need to start looking at each other as people again. You know, you may not believe in the same things I do, but I respect your right to believe in those things. What you say may not be right to me, and what I say to you may not be right to you. But we can respect one another, and at the end of the day, we can shake hands and go on about our business. And I think we've forgotten how to do that. It's like, you know, you see all these screaming people, and it's like, you know, you believe in this or you believe in that. And, you know, I can't have anything to do with you because, you know, you're crazy or that person's crazy or whatever. But we need to put a stop to that.
Definitely, definitely. Well, look, we have 5 minutes left, and so I'm going to give you an opportunity now to talk to the constituents of District 44. If those individuals, if you don't know what district you are and you're a registered voter, you can go to the North Carolina Board of Elections, and you have voter look up your own name, type it in, it'll tell you what district you're in, all the way down to the city ward that you're in and the soil and water. It tells you everything, okay? But for individuals that would have an opportunity to vote for you, Jackie Whitemeyer, you see her name there, what would you say to them to encourage them to consider you as a choice on their ballot?
All right. I was born and raised here, and this is my home. And I love the people of Fayetteville and Cumberland County, and I want to see us all succeed. Not just a certain group of people, but everyone. And I'm the type of person that I may not know the answer to your question at the moment, but I will research and I will find out for you. I'm retired. I don't have anything holding me back. I can do whatever needs to be done. I don't have a job or a family waiting at home for me. And my opponent, as far as I know, he's done a great job. But I think it's time for a Republican to be in that position, and also for a woman. And I do give attention to details, and I want this community to grow and prosper. And I hope that people would vote for me knowing that. And I will listen to you. I want to know what you're thinking, what you think our problems are, and how we can resolve them in a friendly and amicable way, and not be shouting and going after one another like crazy people. And I just say, vote for me, please.
So, for those individuals that want to contact you, what are sources or means that individuals can contact you?
Well, my Facebook page and my website are currently being worked on, but you can reach me by email. It's jkw4 nchouse44@gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, look, we appreciate you being in with us, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing more between now and March the
I hope so.
3rd is the primary. If you experience a primary.
I hope not.
So that's the way that's going to work. And if not, if you don't experience a primary, then we'll see your name. And if you're successful in primary, we'll see your name on the ballot in November of 2026. But anyway, wish you the best, Jackie.
Thank you, Troy.
You be encouraged and keep on doing what you're doing. And we'll see how this all turns out. Now, if you win, I want you to come back.
Oh,
and talk
absolutely.
to this audience. Okay?
I'd love to.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you, Troy.
Have a great one.